You bring up a really good point in the sense that we need to, or business leaders need to prioritize, and we're sort of moving past the experimentation phase when it comes to AI, right?
Correct.
In terms of realizing and showing the ROI. I mean, is this going to be the show me the money year, 2026, Jake?
I don't think it's going to be the show me the money year, although we talk
Not yet?
about it. We talk about as if it's. I think there's just too much hype in the market still, and I think large investors still have about like 18 months before they really get upset and tired of like the hype, and I still think there's still froth, and I don't think the froth is necessarily like unjustified. There's just going to be a few winners, and I think the best executives are going to be the ones that are able to interrogate like which companies are able to actually produce ROI and not. But I don't think, from an investment standpoint, I don't think we're done for the next 12 months. But I do think there's a hyper focus. I'd like to hear your disagreement too. But there's a hyper focus, there's a hyper focus on infrastructure right now, and that will drive the conversation towards ROI, which I think is great. And I think it's going to, it's going to really separate like the big winners and losers. And so I think, both like CEOs that I talk to here, the best ones are the ones that actually understand. Like there's applications that we are all familiar with that is being talked about mostly here, and those applications are mostly for the executive level and a few layers below. But we don't really talk about like how artificial intelligence is actually helping and improving the condition of the folks on the ground that are running, the companies and the GDP drivers, whether it's like in these like physical jobs. And so I think it's, we talk about the AI displacing white collar workforce. We don't talk about maybe as much like how's the blue collar doing in terms of like its robotics and AI's ability to help them. And I think this comes down to this fundamental problem of, look, a lot of the information data doesn't exist, and Silicon Valley was not. There's a reason why we build technology companies that look like they do, specifically off of the internet and off of like building it for these certain individuals. We just like, because I'm in Pittsburgh, I get to see steel workers and I get to see power plant power plant workers, and it's a completely different world, which means I get to see a bunch of different problems that no one else gets to see in Silicon Valley. And I think, as long as you get the right talent, like that's a really great advantage. But, I think this conversation, I think like the more impact you can have for the folks that are actually running the world, the more that's where like the ROI is going to emerge from more organically. And that's the companies you got to look at.
Right, I haven't really thought about that angle, to be honest. So that's so great for you to bring that perspective. Gentlemen, do you want to sound off on the frothiness in the market?
Well, first of all, I think it is really important that we separate out the macro, the ROI of all the investments that we are making in GPUs and data centers and power, are they going to yield fruit or not? It's a useful question for the market. It's a useful question for the policymakers. Not such a useful question for Snowflake, the company, when it comes to AI, because we are dealing very much with how does AI affect us.
Sure.
I'll give two examples. At Snowflake, my reductive view of what we do for a living is we make software, we run software, we sell software, we help our customers deploy software. In each of these functions, especially the make software and deploy software part, AI coding agents have had a massive impact. Our ability to deploy new products, like the ones that create agents, and have them deliver value 10 times faster, not 10% faster, has been truly, truly remarkable. And with respect to customers, AstraZeneca, for example, use some of these products to make the act of creating data products go a whole lot faster with far fewer people. They save $10 million. Super concrete ROI. Back to blue-collar workers, Siemens, who's also a customer, did something actually quite simple. They built a chatbot on the PDF manuals of 150,000 devices that they make and gave it to all of the folks on the field. Now, anyone that's tried to fix, I don't know, a washing machine, a fan, anything else at home knows the joy of like finding the PDF and finding the right page. And
it's impossible.
It's impossible. But yet having the chatbot is hugely meaningful to all of the folks out on the field that Siemens is deploying. And so I very much think that AI is generating ROI today, and that it actually, as company leaders, it behooves us to keep asking this question and keep demanding this incremental proof, again, it's back to don't ever get into all or nothing stories about these kinds of technologies.
And what the market is pricing, that may be a different story, but what you're seeing is real. And same with the industries that you're working with. Give us some of the most powerful examples here.
I will, but let me just quickly kind of just talk a little bit about what Jake said and what Sridhar said. And I would try and bridge the two, because I think the efficacy of AI has been proven.
Right.
But the real ROI, which the enterprise side wants to see, is still to be delivered. And it's visible, but it's not really been kind of adopted. Because 2025 was supposed to be the inflection point on the use of AI, moving away from POCs and applying AI enterprise-wide. That did not happen, and it's taking a little bit longer. But 2026 could very well be the year where that shift really takes place. One of the fundamental issues associated with that is today AI is being applied as bolt-on AI. And what I mean by that is AI gets applied to be able to automate or apply intelligence into a part of a process, and only that part gets improved upon. So when you talk about a CEO looking at their P&L and saying, did I get the benefit of $10 million or $100 million, it doesn't fall through, because you have to change the underlying process and start doing, and you have to start doing work in a different way, which comes back to the point of talent, which needs to be proficient with using AI. It comes to the problem of actually deploying a different business model and using AI in a manner that's going to be producing the ROI that Sridhar is talking about. So I'll give you an example. One example is work that we do with clients in the healthcare space. We do a process called payment integrity. So in healthcare, which is a large industry in the US, 5% of all claims that are paid are subject to fraud, waste, and abuse. Just think of the magnitude of that issue. In the past, we would have thrown a lot of people to take a look at where that leakage is taking place and identify areas, and then be able to recover that money back for our clients. Today, we've got now a data lake which has got all of this data stored in for the last 10, 15 years, and we can apply AI algorithms to that data, and AI is beautiful at identifying patterns. So you can, when you identify that a particular hospital or a particular medical practitioner is applying a different way of applying reimbursement as opposed to the code, you can identify that, and you can quickly replicate that across the entire spectrum. So that's been a huge advantage, and we've been able to kind of help our payers save tens of billions of dollars associated with that.